otherwise desirable trait, Mr. President, did not serve him well because he occupied no less than the highest position in this land. He was generous with his friends, but his generosity was exploited by those who were never really his friends in the first place. In many ways, he had a simplistic view of things, and he did not grasp, like those of us, the complications and nuances of his conduct in relation to the sensitivity of his position as president of the land. He was also very transparent many times. To a fault, against all well-meaning advice, he openly showed his anger, and he answered questions from the media frankly and candidly. His show of indignation, whether righteous or out of his sensitive nature, earned him the ire of the powerful and influential media. But that is error. What you see is what you get. He was unpretentious and spontaneous with his reactions. Being the colorful character that he is, he made good copy for the press, but he was, for the most part, harshly criticized and ridiculed. President Erap and I have had our own differences in the past. May mga panahon na alam kong nagdamdam siya sa akin. Ito ay nangyari noong nasa Kongreso ako at nagtalumpati ako laban sa nakita kong pagmamalabis ng Presidential Anti-Crime Commission na no'y pinamumunuan niya habang siya ay pangalawang Pangulo. Sumama ang loob niya dahil bilang kaibigan, inasahan niya na bago sana ako nagsalita at nag-akusa, sana ay binigyan ko muna siya ng pagkakataong magpaliwanag. Naunawaan ko ito at nang ako ay humingi ng paumanhin, agad niya akong pinatawad. When he won the presidential election in 1998, before he was formally proclaimed, Erap, with all magnanimity and humility, sought me out at the Intercontinental Hotel to shake my hand and even ask me for some advice. I was deeply humbled by his gesture because I ran against him, and I was one of those who publicly belittled his capacity to lead the country. At one time, during his presidency, I phoned President Erap to tell him that I was going to investigate what I believed were anomalies in connection with the bidding of LRT2. He immediately said, okay lang sa akin, yon Manong. Huwag mo akong intindihin. Imbestigahan mo para malaman natin kung may kalokohan talaga dyan. Indeed, Erap never stopped Congress from investigating anomalies under his administration. In fact, he immediately and willingly told his own wife, the First Lady, Dr. Luisa Ejercito Estrada, who later on became a member of this chamber, to face a Senate investigation during his presidency. And more than that, President Erap did not use the vast resources available to him as President of the Republic to thwart his own impeachment by Congress in the year 2000. He readily submitted himself to the legal process of undergoing an impeachment trial but his political enemies and leaders of the so-called civil society were in a hurry to remove him from office. Never mind his basic right to a fair and complete trial on the facts and the merits of the charges filed against him. The humiliation that the former president and his family have suffered are unimaginable for any ordinary person to endure. From the time his erstwhile so-called friend Luis Chavit Singson accused him of taking bribes from Fueting operations, to the aborted impeachment trial which led to EDSA II, his illegal and forced ouster from the presidency, and eventually his arrest and detention, he and his family were publicly pilloried and shamed. In EDSA II, ERAP and we, the senators who voted against the opening of the second envelope, because the bank accounts were not included in the charges Congress elevated to the Senate, were subjected to a vicious hate campaign, derisively caricatured, publicly cursed, demonized, and called names as mandarambong, political prostitutes, mga bayaran, the Craven 11, and many unprintable epithets and labels. It did not help that the media and sadly the leadership of the Catholic Church were active partisans and participants in the effort to force ERA to resign. Lahat ng pagmumura at pag-aalipusta na ibinato kay Pangulong ERA at sa amin ay naganap at pinayagan ng mga pastor, mga madre, at kaparian ng bansa. Doon mismo sa paanan ng malaking imahe ng Birheng Maria sa EDSA, na kung saan ay ginanap ang unang revolusyon na tinatawag na EDSA Revolution